I never imagined the home we'd built with so much love would one day feel like a cage. But that's exactly what happened the moment my husband closed his eyes forever. Ahmed and I had been married for 16 years. 16 years of quiet mornings with tea on the veranda, late-night talks about our dreams, and the kind of peace that only two people who truly choose each other can create. We didn't have children, but our little house on the edge of the city became our whole world. Every brick, every curtain, every rose bush in the garden carried a piece of us. He worked so hard at the factory, and I taught at the local school. Together we saved, together we planned, and together we turned an empty plot into the only place that ever felt like home. I still remember the day we moved in. He carried me over the threshold like we were newlyweds again, laughing until we cried. "This is ours," he whispered against my hair. "No one can ever take it from us." I believed him with all my heart. Then, one ordinary Tuesday evening, everything stopped. Ahmed came home tired, kissed my forehead, and said his chest felt heavy. Before I could even fetch water, he collapsed in the living room. The ambulance lights flashed outside our gate, but it was already too late. A heart attack, they said. Just like that, the man who had been my entire universe was gone. At the funeral, his family surrounded me with tears and tight hugs. His older brother, Hassan, and younger brother, Tariq, kept saying, "We're here for you, Bobby. Blood is blood. We'll protect you." Their wives brought food and sat with me through the night. I was shattered, completely broken, but I clung to their words like a lifeline. In my grief, I thought, at least I still have family. At least I'm not alone in this house. But what I didn't know that day, what I could never have imagined, was how quickly comfort turns into calculation when money and property are involved. 2 weeks after we buried Ahmed, they came back. Not with flowers this time. Hassan arrived first, papers in hand, Tariq close behind. They sat me down at the same dining table where Ahmed and I used to share dinner and looked at me with cold, steady eyes. "This house," Hassan said flatly, "was bought with our father's money. It's family property, blood rights. Now that Ahmed is gone, it belongs to us. You have 30 days to leave." My hands started trembling so hard I couldn't hold the teacup. I stared at them, waiting for the joke, the apology, anything. But there was only silence and the rustle of legal papers. The home I had loved, the home Ahmed had promised would always be mine, was being taken from me by the very people who had just sworn to protect me. In that moment, I felt something inside me crack wide open, exposed, destroyed. The days that followed were a slow, suffocating nightmare. Every morning I woke up in the house that no longer felt like mine. I would walk from room to room touching the things we had chosen together, the faded blue couch where Ahmed always fell asleep during movies, the kitchen tiles we laid ourselves, and the pain would hit me fresh. How could the same walls that once held our laughter now echo with threats? They didn't stop at one visit. Hassan started calling every evening, his voice polite but firm. "It's better for everyone if you move quietly, Bobby. Think of the family name." Tariq's wife sent messages saying I was being selfish, that a widow should return to her own people. They even brought elders from the community to pressure me. I sat through meeting after meeting, nodding, crying, apologizing for things I hadn't done. Inside, I was drowning. Nights were the worst. I would lie in our empty bed clutching Ahmed's pillow, whispering, "Why didn't you prepare me for this?" Tears came so hard I couldn't breathe. I felt utterly alone, like the love we shared had been a beautiful lie, and now the world was proving it. The family I had cooked for, celebrated with, comforted in their own sorrows, they saw me as an outsider the moment Ahmed's heartbeat stopped. Their greed had been hiding behind smiles all along. I almost gave in. One night I packed a small bag and sat on the floor staring at the front door, ready to walk away and never look back. The pain was too heavy. I was tired of fighting shadows. But then I remembered Ahmed's last words to me in the hospital when he could still speak. He had squeezed my hand and said, "Whatever happens, the house is yours. Don't let them take what we built." I thought it was the medicine talking. I didn't understand until I started sorting through his old files. That's when I found the folder. Hidden between old bank statements was a property transfer deed dated 5 years earlier. Ahmed had quietly put the entire house in my name alone. No joint ownership, no family claim, just my name. He had never told me, he had never told them. He must have known, deep down, that his brother's love came with conditions. The discovery didn't bring instant relief. It brought a new kind of ache, grief mixed with gratitude. But it also lit something inside me, a small, steady flame. I was still shattered, still crying myself to sleep, but the tears were different now. They were the last tears of the woman who had been begging to be loved by the wrong people. I didn't tell anyone, not the brothers, not the lawyers they kept sending, not even my closest friend. I simply started moving in silence. I met a lawyer in a small office across town, showed her the papers, and asked her to prepare everything quietly. While they thought I was packing boxes and crying in corners, I was gathering every document that proved the house had always been ours: joint savings, my own salary contributions, Ahmed's handwritten notes. Each time they called to threaten, I answered softly. "I understand," I would say. "Give me a little more time." My voice never shook. My heart did, but they never saw it. I was learning that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers while it prepares. The final meeting happened on a quiet morning, exactly 30 days after their first demand. They arrived at the house with 2 lawyers and a smug confidence that made my stomach turn. Hassan spread the fake family documents on the table like a victory flag. "Sign here," he said, sliding the paper toward me. "It's the decent thing to do." I looked at each of them, faces I had once loved, and felt nothing but calm. No anger, no shouting, just the quiet weight of truth. I didn't sign. Instead, I opened the folder I had kept beside me and placed Ahmed's original deed on the table. The lawyer I had hired stepped forward and began reading the dates, the signatures, the clear transfer of ownership made while Ahmed was still alive and of sound mind. The room went still. Hassan's face drained of color. Tariq's mouth opened, but no words came. "You knew?" Hassan finally whispered. I met his eyes without blinking. "Ahmed knew. He protected what we built because he understood what you would do. I simply honored his last wish." There were no dramatic screams, no threats thrown back at them. I didn't need to destroy them. The truth did that all by itself. Their lawyers shuffled papers, muttered about appeals, but they already knew it was over. Blood rights meant nothing against a legal transfer and a husband who had seen their hearts clearly. As they left, Hassan paused at the door. For the first time, he looked small. We thought you had nothing," he said. I answered softly, "I had everything that mattered. You just never saw it." The door closed behind them, and the house felt different, lighter, safer, truly mine again. I walked to the garden, sat among the roses Ahmed had planted, and let the tears come one last time. Not tears of pain, but of release. I still live here. Every evening I light a small lamp in the window like he used to. The home is no longer just walls. It's proof that love can outlast betrayal. If there's one thing I want you to remember from my story, it's this. When people try to take what is yours, don't meet their noise with noise. Meet it with quiet preparation. Betrayal breaks you open, but inside that break, you often find a strength you never knew you carried. Revenge doesn't have to be loud or cruel. Sometimes the most powerful revenge is simply refusing to let them win. I lost my husband, but I never lost myself. And that, more than any house, is the victory I carry with me every single day. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, remember, protect your peace, guard your home, and never underestimate the power of a woman who chooses silence over surrender.